My YouTube page. I really hope you find the content interesting. Please do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and also share this content if you find it interesting. And basically spread the word. This is the only way you can support us. I really appreciate it. Enjoy your content. The first thing I wanted to talk about is MTN is setting to launch their mobile money service this week. It's going to be called Yellow Digital Financial Service Limited. And one of the reasons why this is happening is because CBN doesn't want it to be called MTN.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I'm wondering why. Yomi, help us. No, you are the one that is closest to these people, so you have to help us here. So why are we not allowing it being called MTN Mobile Money? Because it is, everybody knows. There's nobody that doesn't know. Do you know?
Right, I think I have a fair idea.
Aha, Sanford knows.
So really, there are actually three models for mobile banking. I mean, generally. One of them is where you have the banks championing the process, leading the process.
The
bank-led, yes.
Telco-led.
The telco. No, you have the bank-led. You have the corporate organization or corporate institution-led or corporate-led, and then you have the telco-led.
Okay.
Now the thing is, the CBN has decided to have just these two, so the bank-led or the corporate-led. Now, one of the reasons why they probably would not want telcos to lead is essentially because of regulation.
They're afraid of what happened in...
Exactly. And then don't forget that the NCC purely regulates telcos. And so probably would not want this conflict. Or
between both.
Yes. And so for corporate organizations that go into this mobile money that provide mobile money services, they are strictly regulated by the CBN. And I'm not sure CBN will be able to provide that kind of regulation if you have telcos being championing the process. And probably that's.
So here's the thing, right? I remember when the mobile money discussion started, and it was, I think this was about 2012 or 2009. 2009, right? Yeah, where the whole cashless Lagos discussion started. And I remember when they were giving licenses to the first set of super agents and companies like what's the name of that company? It's disappeared now, so we can't remember their name. I think the only one that we still see around is Paga. And then we're expecting that we're going to give the telcos licenses too, and the telcos expected it, but somehow they were not given. Fast forward another 6-7 years down the line, we've now come back to what we should have done all along, and we're now giving these guys licenses, and we're saying, okay, you should not be called MTN anymore. You shall now be called Yellow. What's it again? Yellow
digital
services.
Yeah, but really and truly, we know that MTN is behind it. So it's just I don't know.
No. I'm my question is: are we afraid? Is it that we think if this happens, they are going to overshadow the banks? I'm not sure that's.
No,
not necessarily.
I think it's just separating the two entities.
Okay.
So one is being regulated by CBN.
One
because CBN cannot be interfering in
NCC's issues.
So it's just one that is strictly regulated by the CBN.
But can't we have a joint? There are institutions that are jointly regulated. For instance, even the banks, for instance, have a cross in regulations between CBN and SEC, right? So that's joint regulation of some sort.
But I think they are similar. SEC is similar to CBN, not similar per se, but in governance.
My question would be, why did it take us this long
to get here, right?
Get here? If we
if we knew we were going to
get here. So whatever you try to delay, whatever you try to avert by not giving them this license, either they're being regulated by NCC or CBN. The fact remains that there's someone who has coverage all over Nigeria now has a license to deal in financial services.
So two things I'd say. One of them is this. One of the things we learn in law and technology is that technology is always ahead of the law.
Yeah.
and
Okay.
regulation.
Okay.
So it will take. I mean, there's only. You
By the
understand
way,
back foot.
Sanford is a lawyer, so yeah,
sorry.
getting
I tried not to.
You're trying not to bring that in.
Okay.
So you're hearing some of his, with law.
Sorry about that. I tried not to do much of that.
Yeah.
But the thing is this: so regulation is always on the back foot,
Uh-huh.
and so it means that with time, regulation wakes up to the point where there's always this risk aversion. So take it slowly, understand the market, and then move.
Then
make a
move
move,
into
make a
it.
free move. So that's what I tend to see. Now we've realized sort of that you can't take out the telcos out of things.
These
In
guys have
fact,
the muscle, they have the
exactly,
groundwork, they have
exactly.
the
Now,
reach.
That's exactly why what they've created for them is some kind of super agent role.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So not necessarily leading the action, but
Mm-hmm.
providing the platform, the level on
Enabling
which
the
other
platform.
things can be built on. So, for instance, we know that MTN has over 58 million subscribers or so, and so that means that you have a wider reach. If you want the mobile market, money market to thrive in Nigeria, then you just can't leave them out of the picture. And so, we'll see what happens going forward.
You know, the funny thing about it is it's called mobile money for a reason. So if you're trying to get mobile money across and you don't put the mobile guys into it, I'm like, how? Because even one of the most famous forms of exchange, that's I think the GT1, is still mobile service at the end of the day. So there's no way we could have left these guys out inevitably. But so Thursday, MTN is going to be launching this. I think it's I'm not sure, but I feel it's in Abuja. After that, I think we'll start seeing their stores everywhere again.
Wait, the funny thing is, I think they've already been doing this. They've been doing this super agent. I think they got the license.
I think they tried to do it a few times. They tried to collaborate with a few banks, but I think the model wasn't just working for them.
No, they've been doing it. I think because they were doing it with Diamond Bank. They started doing it.
Oh no! That was Diamond Bank's yellow, yellow something.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
that
you
you
had
could.
Diamond Bank
So
champion
maybe
that.
they were okay. Maybe because it was yellow. That's why you saw. Also.
No.
They were doing it in collaboration?
They tried to do something similar, but
So
don't think
give
it
or
really
take, and this is what was always important for me. Trigger. This was always important for me. They were willing and they've been eager to get into the space for a while. Trigger. So they tried to seek. I think they tried to speak with Stanbic IBTC at some point. I don't think that worked. They tried to speak to GT at some point. It didn't work. There was with Diamond at some. So it's like these guys always wanted to get into this market, but you kept pushing them out. That no,
I wouldn't say pushing them out.
Yeah.
I would say cautiously. I mean, being cautious, right? I mean,
what are we
disagree.
cautious
I
about?
so much disagree.
Okay, go on.
I think because of competition from all the banks felt there was going to be, they were probably going to
Be pushed out of
be
business.
pushed, exactly, because even for the banks, maybe the only exception here is GTB. Yeah, because GTB came out first with a star 737. The others, didn't.
that's still behind in terms of the game.
Yes, they're catching up now, but it took a while, because sometimes for others to catch up, and when they did, I won't mention this bank's name, who used to have, if you don't have a certain amount, we will not open accounts for you.
Sorry.
And then all of a sudden, they're almost practically begging people.
Shots
So
fired.
it's just
Early in the morning. I see, very early.
I mean, so
Early morning shots.
those kind of people who didn't see how far this thing would go, knew the competition was coming eventually. So no matter how much you say, we were waiting for regulation to give the approval, what would be eventually, because the way the world is going now, you can't keep yourself. I mean, someone was asking this morning, was Tuji asked us if the global issue about the 80 Nigerians is affecting anybody here. See, you just can't close the door. So I feel some people try to keep the telcos out of this business, but eventually with the other fintech guys coming with, you have the discussion about OP, Alright, and all these guys coming on board now. There's no way you can keep shutting the door against these guys, because number one, they have the the largest coverage.
They have the infrastructure.
And they have the infrastructure, and it's there already. So rather than have a bank go and open a branch, which is very expensive, somewhere in the village, which I had expected NIPOS to have done since, and I don't know why they're still not doing this.
That's true, though.
You know, if you keep the telcos out of this, I mean, what
It's
are you
only a
trying
matter
to
of
do?
time.
It's only a matter of time. And
I
if
don't
you
think
look
they
at
were keeping them out.
if you look at all
See,
the reforms,
Yomi, it's
I
just
don't think they were keeping
see
them
me.
out.
I don't want to say my own. Let's not just say, because I honestly feel, and this is the thought. I do know that in 2012, MTN did apply for this license. They were rejected.
Yeah.
Well, clearly
Okay,
because the
okay,
regulation
you-
did not allow them to at the time.
Yeah.
can I ask a
Excluded.
question?
I was going to give a rejoinder to what you said before.
Can I ask a question? Okay, how many of us in here accept the fact that the way we do banking or the way we treat financial
get on.
services is changing? It's completely changed.
Definitely.
I mean,
Okay, let's go on a break, City of Lagos. Shall we come back? We'll ask Alfred to answer that question, because this is not going to end, and I was waiting for us to go on a break. So we have to go on a break, guys. We'll be right back after this short break. Do stay with us on the Money, Business and Economy show right here on 9.3 Nigeria Info.